Everyone, it's me again. This is Raphael, and today I thought I'd do something a little different so that I'd be able to reference it in the future. And I made some slides um, with monomic images for remembering the kanji chapters 1 and 2. Um, but I did them with a little Pokemon theme. Um, Figured I could use some of that AI image generation tech that's out there these days to maybe make some illustrations to help me remember things. Also, I have the Pokemon cry sounds to maybe help use whatever weird mind powers I have that associate these sounds with these dudes, um, and help me maybe retain some things a little better. So let's get to it. First we got on the list is Ichi 1. I've got Diglett comes out of the ground. There's only one Diglett before it evolves. So just one. This is not a Duck Trio. So, sounds kind of like that. It's kind of like Ichi-chi-chi. Okay. Next, Dodua runs along the ground and has two heads. Um, One of the monomics in Wanikani for ground, or for Ichi is ground for that kanji, just the line. So for two, we've got both these dudes running. I feel like the bird kind of Doduo sound is like a nee 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 nee. Then for Dodrio, we have Sun. So sun 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 sun, kind of deeper. Dodrio has three heads. The middle one is the shortest. If you look at the shape of the kanji, the third or the second line is shorter, and in like the actual Pokemon art in the bottom left, you could see Dodrio's middle head is a little lower. So Sun. Moving on. No cry here. This is for Crobat. I have She, which notably also means death, so maybe not inappropriate for a bat. Crobat has four deadly wings, but she tends to stay in the box. So it's she, so it's a female Crobat, and I've never really used one in my party since it's a friendship evolution. So uh, tends to kind of stay in the box a little neglected. Kind of think that the box looks like it has wings a little bit. For four, moving on. We got good old Pikachu, the rat itself. Go, kind of think it looks like a surfing Pikachu, kind of like a arms out like an Egyptian style. Looks like a dude riding a surfboard. Imagine a level 5 surfing Pikachu. Feel like the AI did pretty good with that image. Rokuku. Executor has six heads. The kanji kind of looks like a tree with a hat and roots coming out, so you can think of the top as like the leaves. And then the faces, Roku, uh, being the six that we're counting here. Most art you can only really see three, but I would imagine if it goes around the executor, you would be able to see six of them. Moving on. Totodile is number 7 in the Johto Dex. Imagine him flipped upside down with his arms out. Um, you can kind of see what we're going for. I imagine the Totodile's name is Nana. So Nana for Totodile, meaning 7. Kind of looks like a 7 flipped upside down in and of itself. Hachi for 8. You'll need to beat Blaine's Arcanine named Hachiko to get all 8 badges. That's a bit of a legend in Japan if you're aware. Think of his ears perked up like a volcano. So they kind of have a slope to them. Um, Hachi for 8. Ninetales is a QB. Naruto fans, you know what's up. Imagine her cute tails curling upwards. I have a hard time confusing this for the kanji for power, which kind of goes inwards. So sometimes I kind of do a flex motion inwards, like a strongman, like a Machoke, to remember the one for power, and then outward for QB, or for Q. 9, mighty number 9. All right, this one's weird. Only because I made it weird. 10. Plusle's cheeks look like a 10. It's just a cross. Think of 10 Jewish Plusle holding a cross. So we have Jew, Jew. Yeah, got a little weird with the art here. The AI is not good at doing less popular Pokemon, so it just wanted to do a Pikachu. I put that Star of David there though. I wanted to put a Yamaka on him, but that got weird. Yeah, Jewish Pikachu, Jewish Plusle. Uh, Coochie for mouth. Imagine Gobout's mouth spread wide open. I tend not to struggle with this one. You'll notice he's got these little fangs on the bottom end of his jaw. That's just to remember the lines coming out from the bottom. Um, Also, if you're a Gen 1 veteran, you know his sprite was wild back then. So pretty easy to remember at least for myself. Uh, Nietzsche for day. I imagined him as a soul rock kind of coming over the horizon. I tried to have this one trapped in the box being the same deal as like the PC box, but it got a little literal there. Nietzsche. Think of Soul Rock trapped in a box. The middle line represents the day starting as he comes over the horizon. This is a pretty common radical, so we'll be seeing this quite a bit. The audio's not playing on him. It's kind of like Atsugi. Imagine Hitmonlee training for a month. Think of his little leggy sticking out. He loves the moon. There's a bit of a pun there with Suki and being I love you. If you've seen A Silent Voice, you've probably seen that come up. Um, but yeah, I feel like the left end of this kanji looks like it's kind of kicking outward. So, little Hitmonlee. AI did his best with Hitmonlee. I think he's kind of cool in and of itself, but definitely not the man, the myth, the legend. And this is a classic meme. Ta. Imagine Brock in the rice field eating a nice square jelly donut, split in four. Nothing's as good as a delicious jelly donut. This genuinely confused me as a child. I used to think onigiri were donuts. Yeah, 4 kids messed me up here. But yeah, imagine the donut, the onigiri being kind of squared off. And being in a rice field split in four as Brock eats it. Very good, very yummy. Sableye, meh. Uh, think of Sableye with one big giant eye. I tend to think of Megumi from Konosuba a lot here as well because she does the chuny thing with her eyes. Um, but yeah, the the square kanji you can kind of imagine rounded out a little more, so it becomes a little easier to see it as an eye. But think of like a Cyclops Sableye, and you should be okay here. Meh, 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 meh. Grandpa, or I guess it would just be cool. Think of old grandpa yawning with his mouth open. He's at least 10 years old. Notably, this is only refers to old objects, not necessarily people. So we're gonna objectify grandpa here a bit. He's just an object to me, nothing special. Uh, yep, just the the radicals here are like mouth with 10 on top, so you can think he's at least 10 years old. He's at least 10. Wanga Psyduck drowning with a surfer above them. His voice gargled as he cries, "Save me! I'm stuck underwater. Wanga, sorry." Uh, I think a happy coincidence that it had like mouth and what I put as a surfer there initially. So I made the drowning imagery easy to come by. Shwing Oga. Think of a soldier like Poniard. He has his helmet on over his eyes and he's ready to risk it all by looking at the sun with his eyes. So the lower radical is eye, and the upper one is sun. So you can kind of imagine them looking upward. Um, and this one didn't look like it showed up in Wanikani, but it is in remembering the kanji. Uh, So figured might as well have this noted here. Sock and throw. Tomo, like tomodachi, like friends. When sock and throw stand side by side, they are oni companions. They have a blue oni, red oni motif, if that means anything to you. Look at them both kicking out their toes to the left. So tomo for their toes being kicked out. Tomo. Mei. Think of two Rotom together shining bright like a light bulb, brighter than the sun and the moon, which those are the radicals at play here. You can see kind of the legs sticking out for the Hitmonlee. Um, though notably, both sides of the sun don't kind of droop down like they tend to normally, just one side here. Uh, AI didn't do too great of a job trying to simulate the Rotom experience, but we will make it through. This one came out very nice, very clean. Chant. Imagine three stacked Jigglypuffs chanting with their mouths wide open before the sun. So the two on the right um, are the radicals for mouth, Tona. And the one on the left is sun. So you could imagine that one as a Wigglytuff if you wanted to. But they're all singing, and we've got two vertically on the right hand side. Uh, think about two Pichu holding up a fat Pikachu, um, as they sparkle like the sun in crystal version. So this one has kind of a split meaning. Remembering the kanji noted sparkle, and Wanikani notes crystal here. Uh, and I'm guessing crystal is the more common reading of the two, but I think given that Pika Pika for sparkle kind of was a straightforward thing for me. You could see him kind of shining there. So you could think of that chonky Pikachu getting lifted up top. Also notably, AIs are bad at doing Pichu instead of Pikachu, so they're all just Pikachus here. But the top one, just remember, is a bit wider than the bottom two. Sheena, Delibird delivering good, tasty gifts. She brings them to the mouths of their baby bird children. So you can think of like a gift in each hand, is what I was visualizing initially. Notably, the lower two kanji are, or at least their radicals are for mouth. And goods here isn't like plural version of like I'm good, how are you, but like wares to sell. Shina again. Ro. Think of a fossil Pokemon and how its spinal column links together. How did this great beast take baths? It looks like bath is used more regularly, but remembering the kanji has this as spine, and I think that's visually easier for me to identify with just thinking of that. Put a little of that classic fossil card art, that pre-rendered stuff in the bottom left. Um, so that might be a little nostalgic for people of a certain generation like myself. Shio. This is Meowth, meaning prosperous because he's got that coin. So lucky. Meowth has found a coin with two suns aligned. So we have two radicals for sun, that kind of vertically on top of each other. You can see Meowth is kind of looking upwards, since they're vertical there. Shio. I'm a little. I sometimes am a little less confident than I probably should be with this pronunciation. We have the yo and like the oo there. Sometimes I get it confused for Sue, but I think we're right here. So, ooh, the sunflower near the old church always bloom early. It's good for your soul. So, ooh, uh, there's a cross on the upper right hand side. Since there's one of the radicals at the bottom is Jew for 10. You could imagine 10 sunflower there if you like. Um, and they have, or at least I thought it looked like they had the kanji for old as well. Um, but yeah, the image of a sunflower here is pretty distinct. So if you can think of sunflower as you think of this, Should be easy. I also put a creepy old lady face in there too, so you can remember the old part. I guess in hindsight, some four kind of always look like an old lady, but good for your soul. Good for your soul. Go to church, peeps. So, ooh, Rising Sun, Asahi. I'm not too confident about this reading because I had a hard time finding it. But imagine Sol Galeo raising a Japanese flag to the sun. Picture the flagpole over at Critique City. So you can kind of see on the left hand side of this kanji, it kind of looks a little like a flagpole. And then apparently, this since Japan is associated with the rising sun of itself, land of the rising sun, having that Johto imagery works well with old Japan. And Sol Galeo is based off an alchemic lion. So good stuff there. Hopefully, this is going to help retain that imagery. Honestly, I love this art. Say if you want. Think of Generation 2, my favorite generation. Giraffe rig drinking from a lake. Every generation in the world has to drink too. This can have a double meaning, so like Sekai wo. But I kind of think of like the it looking like giraffe antlers there and it leaning over in the kanji to drink from the water. And since it's generation, there's multiple of them. Honestly, AI did great job with this art. Looks like it really could be from a manga, to me at least. E, Snorlax rubbing his stomach below the rice field. His tummy is full like the moon. Uh, so yummy. E, let's hear that again. E, um, yeah, I think there was mention of kanji for flesh being used here as well. But you can see like the rice paddy, um, and then moon below that, so you can think that he was below the rice field, because that's where like the weight of his belly is here. You can kind of see like his head and his tummy going down if you visualize the Snorlax like that. And Dawn, imagine seeing the sun come up over the beach with Dawn. You might get a tan. She's so cute. You should look good for her. I like Dawn. I think Dawn's like the cutest Pokemon girl. Big fan. Nightbreak is what was listed in Remembering the Kanji, and Dawn was in Wanikani. Um, I think it also had an alternate reading of Tan. Um, think about Tan Dawn or getting Tan for Dawn. You should be okay. Guts, or gallbladder. Again, gallbladder for Remembering the Kanji and guts for Wanikani. They had Tan there. Tan? Tan? If Gulpin keeps eating after the moon goes down and dawn comes, his guts will turn tan. So you can see dawn there again, kind of that sun over the horizon. Um, and on the left hand side, we have what I'm guessing. You got the little leg coming out, so we got the Hitmonlee, Getsu or Suki. Um, but yeah, think about the saliva coloring and try and remember his tan guts, and I think we'll be okay here. Span. This one was also kind of hard to find from the Remembering the Kanji in. Wata for span. Imagine delicious fish sandwich made of tatsugiri. The rice spans the top and bottom like buns, fresh from the wata. So you can kind of see that same circular imagery with two lines, kind of looking like a top and bottom bun, and from my perspective. So think about that spanning the whole sandwich, that whole fish sandwich, fresh from the water. Concave. Oh, you can only enter the Cerulean Cave after you become the king. Mewtwo is in there. So you have to beat Gen 1 before you can come into this area, if you recall. Um, and it has the same pronunciation as king or O-sama. So we got O, you have to be the king to be able to get here. And then convex. The roof of the Pokemon Center is convex. You see them all over Kanto. And there's Su there because I confuse that with U often. So, Totsu, I believe. Nurse Joy pops out of this building. And that should be it for us today. If You Are Me. You'll probably have this on loop throughout the day while you go about tasks. But hope this can help. Next time I'll pick up with chapters 3 and 4. Thanks for your time.